Hey guys, it's Zayway again, and firstly, yes, it's pronounced Zayway, Zayway, that's how you pronounce it, because people were confused. Anyway, that's what I'm talking to you. So basically, there's this YouTuber online who reacts to albums if you pay them. Actually, there's more than one, but this one's special name because he didn't charge nearly as much as the other guys. So I decided to give him the EP which I made a few months ago, and just to see what he think about it. Now I gotta say that he didn't necessarily love the EP, but I thought his actual criticism was very fair, and I really appreciate him for going in and just into it, even if I did have to pay him. So yeah, thank you so much. So I asked him if I could edit down the reaction. He said that he would put it on his channel, but if I want to put it on my channel, that's perfectly fair. So here we are. Here's the full cut reaction of him reacting to my EP from a trifle. And now, if you want to listen to this EP, the link is in the description, so just click that link and read that. Without further ado, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the reaction.
Yes, that is amazing. Oh, thank you, Zaria. A hell of a band name and title. I don't know which one's which, but both are peak. Zaria, I still don't know how to say your username. Zaria made this EP last December while on break from uni. Some of the titles are a bit unhinged, but the songs themselves are just instrumentals. Alright, is this on Album of the Year? Because if not, the name of the EP is Run and Trifle, and here is our cover. Alright, track 1. You see, I could have just used AI, wrong, should be could have, not could have. Could he just use AI, but it wouldn't be as rewarding as official audio. Interesting album cover indeed. This is Zaria's. Drums are kind of jarring. Yeah, the toms are a bit loud. Lots of attack on them as well. You can really hear like the impact very heavily. Hey. This was used on free software and you know nothing about mixing? I see. Hi-hats hit. The hi-hats are interesting. New Falling in Reverse? I didn't even know there was New Falling in Reverse. God is a Weapon. Yeah, I'm good. I have no pad up for this. I don't need no pad, right? Can you edit this? It's not going to be a video on my channel, but if you want to post like the reaction and put it up on your channel, that's absolutely fine. Basically, I'm covering the notepad. We're not going to keep notepad up. There's no point. Alright, I think the big thing about that song is that I wish it had just a more straightforward drum beat. I think incorporating the toms is pretty cool. I think it would be nice to have like some fills going around the toms, or maybe even a part that does have a tom beat. But with the instrumental provided, especially that synth loop that you've put in there, I think that having a more straightforward drum beat, maybe sort of a more trap influenced drum beat, maybe adding some more hi-hat flourishes in there, making it a little more chaotic, a little bit more over the top in terms of the actual part that's being played, would make the song feel a lot more fluid, because as is, you just have this drum beat that is interesting, but it kind of makes the song feel very... like, it makes it feel too quantized, if it makes sense. It also needs effects, yeah. It does feel very bare bones in the state it's in. I feel like adding some things like a phaser, maybe a little bit more interesting panning as well, could definitely bring that song up and make it feel a lot more dynamic, if that makes sense. As is, I would give that a high 4 to like a 5.
Just to know he didn't score any other songs, so it's irrelevant anyway.
Reverb as well, yeah. Give it a bit more of a roomy sound, because as is, everything sounds a little bit too big. I feel like being given a little bit more space would be nice. Up next we have I Murdered a Man and Hid the Weapon behind the bin outside CEX. use a hidden temporary secretary. There you go. You got a higher score than Champagne Supernova. I'm judging them differently. I'm not judging them on like the same metrics in the slightest. Now I'm gonna let this play out. I'll get my thoughts at the end. I mean, Lying. There you go. Aren't you one of the Pizza Tower songs? XQCB? Jesus Christ, that is jokes. Oh my god. Alright. This song needs a more clear melody. This could be a way more interesting instrumental if it had a clearer, like, an actual leading melody. It kind of felt like there were just notes being hit to establish a key, and no real, like, melody being put on top of it, no, like, leading thing to follow in the track. It just kind of felt like everything was a background element, if that made sense. Everything felt more like it was meant to serve the rhythm than it was an actual melody to latch onto. I also think, again, the drums are just a little bit too... I don't even know what the word to describe it would be. The drums just aren't straight enough, if that makes sense. The drums feel a little bit too, like, stagnant, like they're not really... They don't really have any ebb and flow. They're just kind of like, the drums appear, and then at the end of the same bar that gets repeated, it stops, and then it appears and it stops, as opposed to the drums feeling fluid and kind of like they're just constantly flowing throughout the song. I think the biggest thing would be... We need gayer drums. There you go. The drums are too gay. We got two different sides of the spectrum there, dear lord. Yeah, I don't know. I think the song just needs a clearer melody, needs more fluid drums, and I think a bass line would do a lot for this as well. It doesn't need to be, like, obviously actually played on a bass, but just having some form of bass line underneath this. Having the bass line doing what the synth is doing on this song. Not quite my tempo. There you go. Needs a temporary secretary sample. Rum and Trifle, yes, it was in my contract to name one song after the EP. Hey. The drum beat's landing in such a weird place with, like, where the one is. 3, 4. Their drums are confusing me throughout this. I will say this is a more interesting beat, though. I feel like what you're doing with the drums here definitely does feel a lot more consistent. If this stuff was mixed, it would be fine in a video game. I think mixing is a big thing with this as well, yeah. Do you know what would sound really nice over this? Having quarter note stepped hi-hats all the way throughout. I think just having that little, like, metronome element to this where it's just stepped hi-hats, quarter notes all the way throughout would do this wonders. I think that'd be a really nice touch to add in here. Just kind of, I don't know, add a little bit of texture to the drums, if that makes sense. It's harmonically lacking. Maybe not even quarter notes. Have it be half notes landing on 2 and 4. So it's just hi-hats landing on the upbeats, if that makes sense. Is it trifle or lettuce? You know, this isn't great. I mean, hey, if you're just starting out making music, you're showing, like, actually a decent amount of ability, firstly, to keep things fairly quantized. Everything is landing in the correct place, everything is lined up properly. And you're showing here that you can write a melody. The melody's a little too chaotic and all over the place. Exactly, you gotta start somewhere. It just feels like you messing about and learning, and that's... You know, there's not anything I can complain about. This would probably be what music I would make would sound like. Because, you know, I have made music before for GCSE. The funny thing is, I probably wouldn't be able to do any better right now. Exactly, messing around and learning is a good way to describe it. Exactly. It's just getting your bearings. And I respect the hell out of it. Especially for putting yourself in front of an audience like this while you're messing about and learning. I respect the hell out of it. And I appreciate it. That song had probably some of the strongest elements that you've presented up to this point. The drums felt a lot more consistent. It felt like the drums provided a lot better flow to the track because it didn't feel like they were constantly stopping and starting. And I think that the drum sounds that you use were a lot better having an acoustic kit sound instead of it being like clap samples and very big, heavy, obviously... Well, I don't know if it was acoustic toms. I don't know. I much prefer the sounds that you chose to use there, and it felt a lot more fluid. Game music is a safe place to start. Yeah, I imagine it would be. Yeah, anything that's like instrumental. For me, it would be anything instrumental because I can't sing. I just wish that the melody wasn't so chaotic on that, and I wish that the drums switched up a little bit. Don't be afraid to kind of like change things up throughout the track. It feels like everything is so samey all the way throughout, like you're just basing it around the same repeating loops with minor tweaks. I'd like to see different sections be worked in, like a clear maybe ABC structure or something like that. Just something that gives the song a feeling of progression, if that makes sense. That'd be a big thing to work on for me, is trying to work in some progression. What's the score? I don't really know how I'd score this. Like, it's a little unfair to whack numbers onto this because it's you learning. It's like, you know, I wouldn't even know what metric to judge this by. We don't need ABC. We need LGBTQ. Wow. Incredible. Incredible. Big Nibbles is better at cooking than Gordon Ramsay. See, there you go. You've already got a head start. Everyone knows gay people are better at making music. You know how strict Ryanair is with luggage measurements? I've got no idea, man. No idea. I don't think I've ever flown with Ryanair. I might have. I don't know. Hey. See, the drummer in me is imagining like a trap beat over this. I wish I had like a program I could use. I wish I had my drums so I could just play the exact beat that is going on in my head over this. Download the free trial of FL? No. Not on stream. I'm not going to be downloading it while I stream because that'll make my internet tank. You must pay an extra £65 to check in your bag? That is rough. Making you big spend. See? There you go, a good sense of timing. Yeah. Considering the fact that the instrumental stays almost exactly the same, just with things dropping out, it doesn't need to be this long. Again, a big thing would be having having it be more structured and having different sections kind of come in and out. That'd be a big point to improve, in my opinion. I got one more after this. Incredible. Wow.
Oh yeah.
What? Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Demo song on a Yamaha keyboard.
Yeah.
Cool little guitar sample.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. If someone was listening to this in the next room, they'd get annoyed very fast. Listen. Oh, look, there's me. Look, I respect the hell out of it. It is you in the process of learning how to create music, and you're presenting it to the entire class. I respect it. I respect it. It's nice to see someone actually in the process of learning. It's fun to watch. And seeing that you clearly do have aspects that are actually pretty strong, in particular, your sense of timing. I feel like your timing's pretty good. Everything it lines up in terms of being quantized. Nothing is offbeat for the most part. Like, everything is, at the very least, competently put together. Sense of melody is something I would improve on. It feels like a lot of the songs just kind of either melodically so random and all over the place, or they don't really feel like they have any clear melody at all, and it's kind of just notes being played to keep it in a specific key instead of actually providing something to kind of latch onto. The structures of these songs are too repetitive. I wish that they had different sections. Again, doesn't need to be like a generic like pop song structure or anything like that, but even just having a B section to counter your A section and trimming down the songs a little bit would do wonders, because it would make it feel like there's a lot more of a progression, if that makes sense. Also, just work on mixing. I know you said you don't know how to mix. That's just a big one for me. It's just learn how to mix the songs, learn how to properly place things, learn how to do a good placement in terms of panning as well to give the songs a more panoramic feel. There you go. There's a genius word right there. Yeah, I'd say you've shown a clear display of strengths, and I appreciate you sending it in to learn what steps to take forward. Yeah, thank you so much for sending that in. I appreciate it. Were I... no, I'm not going to score it. It's a little unfair to score it. Wish you good luck on your music journey. All musicians have to start somewhere. Exactly. I mean, an 8-minute harsh noise track once, it sampled the bass line from the national anthem. What, the Radiohead song, the national anthem, or the actual national anthem? Please score. I can't. There is no metric that I can score it on. It's what you wanted. Trust me, the number is what matters the least. Don't hold back. I don't know what metric to judge this on, dude. It's someone like making music for the first time learning. It feels unfair to score this. I guess in terms of enjoyment, it would be like a 2. But that's not a 2 in terms of like, this is terrible, stop what you're doing. It's a 2 as in that those 2 points are promising, and I think you can take it further. But also, it's like, it's you learning, and scoring something that's based on, like, you know, starting to learn does feel a little unfair to me.